Welcome to Gamepinions episode 34. I'm your host, Calvin, and today we are back again for a special edition Game of the Year 2019 podcast episode. So today I am joined by the one, the only, Kim Kim.
Thank you.
And then we're also joined by the human multi-tool without the tweezers, Jon. Welcome back, Jon. Sorry, I cut you off, Jon. What'd you say? How's it going?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been. It's been, good. What, since like September or August, something like that? It's been a long time.
And this is my first podcast with Jon.
Oh, man. There's a lot of firsts.
That is true.
Here on the last day of 2019. So, I guess we'll start this episode off like how we normally start off. And Kim, we're going to swing it over to you.
Okay.
What have you been up to this week?
For this week, I have been on Final Fantasy 14, which I think is what we agreed, and not XIV, but whatever.
XIV.
So I've actually been on there experimenting more with the housing, and it's just so much fun. And I'm on the server Fairy, and a lot of people on that server have been very kind. And there's a lot of server transfers too, just for people to find new groups and become more social. And our free company, I've gotten to notice how nice people are, and just in general. I mean, MMOs back in my day were you call that a build? And I don't know, it was just so much more aggressive. But I've been enjoying myself on there, and just kind of been doing all the pretty stuff, making everything pink. I'm a girly girl, so.
Sounds pretty fun.
Yeah.
Is that the only game you've been playing?
Well, I mean, I have been kind of popping on and off of The Sims 4, and my computer, which I think operates just fine, is apparently struggling with, I guess, the latest update that's come out for The Sims 4, and it's not even like I have the expansion installed. It's just how, I guess, it populates into the game, and, I mean, I guess it's all locked underneath something, but I cannot play the game. It's just so slow. I mean, even without my mods, I don't understand what's going on. I might have to reinstall it or something, which might be something a lot of people are experiencing. From what I was seeing, they have to uninstall their full game with all the expansions they have and reinstall the full. I was like, I don't have time for this. I'm just gonna get on. Yeah, I'm just gonna get on Final Fantasy. So. Well,
I will say that judging from my experience with EA, this is just how all their games are.
Probably. I haven't gotten on Star Wars and Battlefront 2 for a long time, so I don't know what's going to happen when I pop on there.
Ironically, me and Jon were just playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 a few nights ago. Jon, what have you been up to in all of these months since you were last on the episodes?
I mean, lots of Battlefront. I mean, you gotta talk about that now. It's been re-reviewed by IGN.
That's right, yeah.
Really?
I kind of consider that the comeback of the year as a game, as far as that goes.
What?
Yeah, because they had to re-review it just because of how it is now, as opposed to, I guess, the kind of the mess that it was released as. So they kind of went back and re-reviewed it.
It should be called Review 2.0. It shouldn't be re-reviewed. Don't erase the original. It was. I believe
it was what? 6 point something, 6.2, 8, I don't know. It bumped up. I think it's an 8.8 now, IGN.
Okay, that's pretty fair.
That's a big jump.
It is.
20%.
Whatever these numbers mean.
Yeah, whatever these imaginary numbers mean. I mean. They like it a little bit more. That's all that means.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well.
So that's been fun. I mean, I played that so much where it was, it's $25 upgrade for what is it? Ultimate Edition? Celebration Edition.
Yeah, Celebration.
Basically, it unlocks all the cosmetics, all the skins until this point. And I'm like, well, I dumped maybe 100 to 200 hours in the game. It's worth it. I don't want to, grind forever.
Oh yeah.
These skins, so I was like, this is worth it. I mean,
yeah, I think that's worth it.
Hours ago.
Because I mean, it takes forever to unlock all those things.
Oh, yeah. I don't have the patience for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just want to pop in there and enjoy it while I'm on there and then get off. That's a lot of devotion to unlock all that stuff.
It is, yeah. And especially now that there's no crates to help you unlock any of that now, it's like,
Yeah, no assistance? Yeah, thanks. I guess, that was just poorly executed.
Yeah, it's been fun. They added several new modes now.
Yeah.
You can actually play some instant action, which is kind of limited to some prequel maps for now. I'm assuming they're going to be updating it with the sequel and maybe in the future the original trilogy maps. But for now, I think my favorite mode now is co-op, which you don't really have to be competitive against anyone else.
Oh, that's
Me and
nice.
Calvin have been playing that
Yeah, we played
co-op
that a
mode,
couple
which
times.
is
Yeah.
it's it's a co-op mode of four players online versus bots, and just basically you're going against waves of bots, trying to push
See,
forward and
Most of the time, at
or
least.
defend.
yeah, I prefer
Most of
that
the time.
honestly. Just like the originals, you can play with your friends and just go against like, a bot team. You don't have to play online. You remember back in the day, I mean, that was the only way you could play. I mean, it's just bots.
But but we're saying most of the time because there's been a couple situations where me and John have played, and for some reason the game puts like someone else on the other team.
Oh, that's great.
So they're on like the team of bots.
That's a known bug.
So it's like,
but I mean,
yeah, it's
it
messed
wouldn't
up.
be Battlefront 2 without the bugs.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
And you've been kind of playing the Call of Duty Modern Warfare game too,
Yeah,
right,
we
John?
have been. Yeah.
Yeah, you two have been.
Yeah.
I've popped in there once or twice with you guys.
Yeah, John, what do you think of
I
that
have my
game?
complaints.
It's a little messed up. I feel like the maps are a little weird. Some of the weapons are a little oddly balanced. I mean, like that one map we were playing on Shipment, like what was that?
I don't know.
And the ability to have tanks.
Well, what was that?
Yeah.
How many players is that? Was that
I can't remember. I think it was 8v8. I think there is a 10v10 mode. I'm not sure if that map's available for the 10v10, but I imagine it is.
I hope not.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's pretty ridiculous. That mode is like instant death every single time.
You have to describe the moment we were introduced to that map. Does anyone know the actual name of the map?
Yeah, Shipment.
Shipment. Okay, so basically there's those...
more like...
We're not allowed to say that on here.
I think you need to beep that, right? No. But there's apparently these crates or shipment crates or whatever. They're like freight crates or whatever you call them. Yeah, whatever. There's like 4 of them. There's like 4 columns of them. And it's a small map. I'm talking like if you know the Halo Z-Lot map, it's tiny. It's the tinier than that. You basically have 4 corners of a bedroom and you all spawn and there's like just one crate between y'all, kind of dividing you, or these 4 in the center. And you could just spawn in front of people, behind people. It's almost like a spawn camp map for fun, and there's no way you could take that map for serious. So we all start the game off and we spawn and our enemy is right in our face and we're like, what is this? And we just start running around and then shots are going everywhere. You don't have like more than 3 seconds to live. And then sure enough, there's like this little miniature tank, which I didn't even know existed in that game, comes rolling around.
Oh yeah, it's a kill streak, yeah.
I was like, I hope that thing's on our side. And sure enough, it was, thankfully, but
oh my god,
it was insane, and you can't take down that thing fast enough because
it takes a lot of shots. It takes a ton of shots. Can you imagine Juggernaut on that map? That's the big guy with the little minigun, but he has like a crap ton of armor.
John, did you have a strategy on that map? I don't think I ever asked you.
I mean, the best thing I could do is like just throw my smoke down and just kind of do that.
Were you a grenader, or were you like, I'm gonna get their heads first? Or
I think smoke's my best bet. I mean, you died not as soon.
Yeah, I was kind of like a spawn and then get killed while I was spawning kind of strategy going on there.
Oh, insta-death?
It was highly effective for the other team.
We were the most slain, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
We all managed to, I think it was all of us, were able to basically camp out inside one of the shipment crates and hide in a corner and try to shoot them as they passed by. But sure enough, if a grenade was tossed in there...
Oh, yeah, that's it.
It was
you're
over.
Screwed.
But if anyone said they were competitive with that map, I would be laughing. There's no way you could take it serious.
it was ridiculous. I mean, it's like even like the play of the game, it's just a whole bunch of people popping in and then just getting instantly killed.
It reminds me of the Halo Reach custom maps where it's like someone's the Cookie Monster or some crazy mode you play with your friends for fun and for, giggles and stuff, which, I mean, we were laughing. I mean, it was a good time. But as far as the game goes, John, what's your overall opinion of it?
Yeah, what's your main complaints for it?
I think you've played it more than me and Cal. That's why I'm kind of asking. Like, what do you think?
I mean, it's that spawns in general, equipment in general. It's crazy on claymores in the game.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's really sad that some of the best maps are just remakes or barely even a remake, almost straight up ports of the original Modern Warfare maps. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, that's kind of sad that those are your best maps because I don't really want to. Well, original maps, I don't want to see the same all over. Like, because you already had Modern Warfare Remastered, which had the same maps again, and then you had other Call of Duties, you just poured over the same maps, and this has been going on for same throughout the whole Modern Warfare franchise. So
You
Yeah.
just see them importing what's in the previous games or what was, I guess, the most liked instead of what I understood, because I haven't played Call of Duty since way back, where it was more like these classical weapons back like World War II or something style. It was old. But that was apparently rumored what this game was supposed to be. Now, granted, there's not a lot of futuristic aspects to it, but I was kind of shocked that it's still not in the past like I was imagining it would be. I had a different, I guess, vision for the game than everyone else.
Yeah, I think basically, they were trying to go back to more of the original style without, swinging from like, rope to, not swinging from like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but, not like wall riding and stuff like that, like the weird stuff they were kind of, including wall running and whatnot. And it's just more of like, you're on the ground, you're a little bit more limited in where you can go and what you can do. And I personally like that better. I'm not a big fan of all the crazy stuff that they introduced to the series eventually. But I mean, to me, I feel like they just kind of lost a little bit of the magic because I feel like Modern Warfare, the original, and then World at War, I thought those two had some, really solid maps. I think that they were a lot better balanced than how it is now. I feel like as the years have gone by, it feels like they're running out of ideas and what to do. And it's just it's just a mess.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, I feel like what makes it kind of like that is when you get in the game, I mean, it's a military game. It would be different if it started out as an alien, futuristic game. But the fluids, to me, I think what it is you're so fast. You move so fast. There needs to be like a sensitivity cap so that you can't whip around your head that fast. There needs to be weight to your military man. I mean, if I'm thinking I'm going to play a military game, I don't envision myself beaming around the corner and going pew pew like I do in Halo. I envision like a soldier, kind of like some weight, some movement to when you're right now. I just don't feel that. I don't feel the weight of my weapon. It's just very odd to me.
Well, it's very much like it's a Twitch shooter. It's all about going fast and all that. And I guess, that's kind of like the Call of Duty feel. I just don't think the map design is there. And I feel like there's not enough of like a reason for people to like not camp. I feel like all these maps that they create, and you're always going to have camping regardless of what kind of Call of Duty game it is and what kind of, maps are. But I feel like these maps specifically almost encourage the camping aspect. And that to me kind of kills the game.
Yeah, I don't really feel like I'm going to war, right, John? I don't really feel like I'm like jumping in there and on a sideline of war. It's like, oh, I'm going to the subway. Like, I don't know. I just wasn't very fond of the maps either. Like, oh, I'm just kind of going to my day to day, and here comes some guys and guns. I'm going to shoot them. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't really camp much in that game. I mean, I'll camp when I feel like the enemies are doing something ridiculous, where I feel like I'll be at an advantage if I did it, but just for a little bit, because obviously it's a kill cam, and they'll eventually find out where you are. So
yeah,
it's not as fun. I like running around, but if running around gets me killed a lot, then at some point I'll slow down.
Yeah,
I'll recuperate, find a spot, and kind of stick to that same area. But I won't stick to a single permanent spot. I'll stick to a single area.
Yeah. I mean,
kind of go back and forth and defend.
That's kind of what I do too. It really depends. Like, there's certain maps where I'll kind of just, run, to like a hallway. I'll, hook up my gun to whatever wall is in the way, and I'll sit there for a few seconds. If anybody walks by, I'll take him out, and then I just kind of move on. Because, I mean, to me, it's boring. Like, sitting there waiting for someone to show up is just boring. Like, unless you're like a sniper, it's kind of stupid. I mean, there's
But
really
I
no
kind
point.
of feel like that's honestly part of their audience, though, enjoys that aspect of it, which they're trying to also cater towards campers and non-campers. I feel like they made that one of their primary focuses because there's no way you can play those maps or beta test those maps in any way and not realize there are spots where camping is definitely, a thing. Like, you're going to be able to camp in those spots in certain areas.
Yeah.
And there's no way that they did not notice that. So I think they're trying to appeal to their audience there in that aspect. But we are breaking down the game quite a bit, you guys. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a Call of Duty rant here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only legitimate camping I can see is snipers. I mean, it's snipers. What else can you do, especially in Call of Duty on a map that big?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
I know
this
people
does.
complain about that. It's like, they're snipers. What are you supposed to do?
Well,
You can
that's
move around
true.
every now and then.
That's true. You have a good point with the snipers being there, and what else are they supposed to do? So I didn't really think about that.
Yeah,
You can flank
snipers
the
is
snipers easily.
Yeah, and they have like, the lens flare and all that, the different ways to kind of indicate, hey, you're about to get shot.
You're gonna get killed.
Yeah, they're kind of moving on to like trying to go to Battlefield, but it's kind of cute because they're like, oh man, we're all so realistic now. We have ground war, we have big maps, and people were all freaking out. It's like, oh my god, this is so cool. It's like, yeah, we have Battlefield. If you want, stuff
Yeah, and
like
Battlefield does it much better.
Call of Duty doesn't really work much on that kind of.
No, I personally, I think Ground War is kind of trash, honestly. I think it's kind of not great, very poorly executed. All it turns into is people going up on the roof and just killing you when you spawn.
The vehicles are really bad to control.
Yeah.
They're weird. They're janky.
Yeah, and I know we're talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare a lot, but this is a really good breakdown of one of the games that has been released in 2019.
It has been, yeah.
And I think we need to also kind of analyze some other games that have been released this year and maybe break them down a bit too. John, have you ever played just big title games at the moment, but like Sekiro, I believe it's called?
Sekiro.
It's like the Dark Souls Japanese
version? I do
version?
not have it yet.
We haven't played it either.
Yeah, we have not, but TJ has, and he actually has talked about it on this podcast before. If I had to guess, out of all the games that came out this year, that would have been his game of the year.
Oh, yeah. Now, he's a little bit biased when it comes to games because, you have your favorite games, of course. If a new Halo came out this year, it'd be like, oh, yeah, of course, it has its flaws, but I love Halo,
It has Master Chief on it.
It's Chief, right? So, but Sekiro, I think, artistically and the way it was performed, like just the way the game's developed is obviously very nice. I think it was a different style, probably what TJ was discussing, than the previous Dark Souls, and how I guess the combat system's a little bit different. Do you recall anything
I can't really recall.
said?
I think it's very similar to how Dark Souls plays, or like, that series From Software
It's the same
games.
creators.
Yeah, same creators.
Same map design, or I know
I think he was mainly talking about the different art style and how it kind of feels a little bit, I guess, different and more. I think it's supposed to be more of like a Japanese like style of like art. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well that could
Whatever
be
that
understood
means.
because they were going for a different kind of cultural aspect to
Like
the game.
shoguns.
To be honest with you, yeah,
Yeah.
like samurai kind of, and then I guess
don't know.
those kind of knightly things over there. I'm sorry, y'all, I don't know the technical terms, but it's a highly praised game, and it's probably going to be, wait, was it announced as the game of the year? Who was?
That was like the official game of the year, yeah.
The
Sekiro.
official?
Yeah, the official one.
Game Awards.
Yeah.
I believe.
Because
Okay.
every website has their own Game of the Year award. We're gonna have our little tiny Game of the Year thing here too. But as like the biggest one that I guess is more critically recognized, it was considered Game of the Year this year.
Which, if you have a lot of time to devote to those kind of games, then I can guarantee you will fully enjoy them. And, if you even want to just spend any time that you have towards it, they are very good games and very beautiful, but
they're definitely not for everybody because it's, it can be frustrating and it has definitely a learning curve to it too.
definitely. That's just something like I enjoy, but man, do I get frustrated fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there's other games that came out this year too. Just to list a few. Pokemon Sword and Shield came out this year, the first real Pokemon game to come out on the Switch. I didn't play that. I wanted to, didn't get around to it. you guys, I'm assuming, didn't get around to it either.
No, but I know your sister has, and she had spoke to me a little bit about it. I think
she wasn't impressed.
Too.
Yeah, she wasn't impressed with it. She
said it was rather easy, and you guys had played the original, Pokemon games, and to see something like this come out where they're touting it to be like this brand new Pokemon standard in a way.
Like, I feel like Pokemon in general has never been super difficult. It's always kind of been like, baby's first RPG in a way. But yeah, it's really it's kind of just gotten easier and easier though, and I don't know if that's just because the game has gotten easier, or if we're just getting better at playing games.
Yeah, we're just more skilled, right?
Yeah, we're
Jon?
more skilled now. We're more evolved.
Have you played any of those games by chance, Jon, or know any of other 2019 games that have released that you've really even bothered to kind of play with?
Played a lot of, or just in general?
In general.
As far as unique ones go, Death Stranding. I mean, I know you've had several podcasts talking about that.
Oh,
we definitely have. Death Stranding is definitely going to be brought up again. But yeah, Death Stranding is pretty awesome.
But you talked about that a lot. So.
Oh,
we
yeah.
will.
We discussed a lot of it. Oh, yeah. But however, Metro Exodus, I believe, it released very early in 2019, and the Metro games are a fantastic series of, honestly, it's hard for me to get into shooter games, let alone something like Call of Duty, but Metro and its story, if you trace it back, it's just fantastic. And Exodus that came out was very open, like the maps were just vast. And I believe Exodus was released earlier this year. I had caught up with every single one of them with my little brother, so that's why I'm a little maybe off with my scale as to when they did release.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with that series.
Mm-hmm.
I know about it, obviously, but I've never actually, outside of a demo, I've never actually played one. How about you, Jon?
Any Metro game?
I have not played a demo, but that's about it.
Okay.
It is I felt like I just like all the little aspects of it. How everything just, I don't know, it's different than Gears of War.
Mm-hmm.
It's different than any shooter game I can really stick it, to. It's not like a Halo. It's not like Call of Duty. Not like anything I've ever played before. And I was like, I like this. This is definitely different. And it sticks with you.
Yeah.
You want to go back to it if you actually give it a chance. I think, honestly, the earlier Metros, in my opinion, them being such smaller maps and more, it almost felt like a Doom in a way, because it's not very hard. You know what you're supposed to do. It's a whole heck of a lot of shooting, and you traverse through this map very quickly usually, and it's dark, and you're just gunning down enemies. And then when this game came out, it was a lot more stealth, which was very interesting for that kind of game, and it made it a little scary. And your enemies were almost, most of them were human, ironically, in my opinion. You fought a lot of other humans that were kind of bad. So it kind of gave it I feel like a Tom Clancy spin to it in a way.
Yeah.
Which was kind of nice, because it's kind of like how I would want it done. But it was definitely different than the previous Metros. Still good, in my opinion. But as far as the game of the year, I mean, I love that weird Death Stranding stuff. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Death Stranding. Now, before we get into the game of the year, just a couple more games to kind of, take note of that I didn't get to play. A Link to the Past for the Switch. I really wanted to play that. I did. It's right. That's right? No, Link's Awakening. Is that? I'm so confused. I'm getting mixed up.
I think you're right. I think it's Link's Awakening.
Was it Link's Awakening?
It's Link's Awakening.
Okay.
One. Yeah.
I'm thinking of the 3DS version. Yeah, I wanted to play that. Didn't get a chance to play it. Luigi's Mansion 3, wasn't super interested in it. I wanted to play that, but I really didn't get a chance to do that either. I also wanted to play Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Did not get a chance to do that. The new Star Wars game, Fallen Order.
Oh, yeah, we still haven't touched that.
Did not even touch it. Looks really good, though. And that's probably going to be, after I'm completely finished with Death Stranding, that will probably be the next game that I get.
Oh, it has to be. Star Wars is our thing. I think if we played that, we might have skewed opinions.
It might be a little bit different. So just before, the whole Game of the Year thing, just want to throw that out there. There's a lot of awesome games that I did not get to play this year.
And same here. I mean, we're just going based off of what we have played so far in what we would consider our little game of the years.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that there's only 24 hours in a day, and we have jobs and limited funds, so we literally can't play everything. It's too much.
The struggle is real.
Yeah. So
I did write down a few games that I did pick up that I was kind of going through what released this year and kind of had bad memory,
nice. Go ahead,
I wrote
Jon.
some down.
All right, Jon, shoot.
I mean, several sports games. I mean,
that's right.
We already talked. We talked like a whole podcast about MLB, MLB Show 19. So NHL 20, which was picked up recently. NFL not too long ago.
Yep.
Two other games that I've been playing or have played that came out this year. Untitled Goose Game.
I played that too.
And that was fun. I 100%ed it. I think it was worth. I think it was like what, $18. I think.
That's some people's game of the year.
Oh, are you guys talking about the goose game?
Yeah, the goose game.
Like where you can drag things around as a goose.
Yeah, you do a whole bunch of different crazy stuff.
That was like to me like a way better
I wouldn't consider
goat
that
simulator.
Yeah,
but it was a very fun game.
Very short though.
I believe Cuphead was that released this year though?
I think it was released this year on Switch, but it was released like a different year on Xbox and PC.
Let's see, Xbox came out. Yeah, so Switch was released this year. So I mean, I don't have an Xbox, so
yeah, you can count that. That's fine.
I can count that. Super Mega Baseball,
which I also just got. Pretty impressive.
It's fun. It's very different from MLB The Show. I think hitting is all our fun in that game.
Yeah.
And it's actually like, just like by the look of it, you think it's like cartoony. It maybe plays like RBI Baseball.
RBI Baseball, which we have documented, sucks.
RBI.
I don't play any of these sports
Super Mega Baseball 2 is like, it's fun and you can still play it like a simulator game almost.
When you said that, I haven't really had a chance to dive into that game, but you said there's like kind of like a franchise mode and all that in that?
Yes, I believe so. I don't really touch it. I only basically play online.
Okay.
There's a season mode. So you have your team you make and then you play like 60 or 60 something.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Season.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Was that hockey game you guys played? Did that come out this year or?
It did, yeah. The hockey game, yeah, NHL. Yeah, that did come out this year.
That is a legit game.
Let's see. I'm playing my Switch. Let's see. Games I've gone through. All right, here we go. So Cuphead I already mentioned. I played a little bit of Unravel 2, not too much. Snipper
I've never
Clips
played
I
it.
picked up this year. So I'm not really going to games that came out this year, but games I picked up this year. Tetris.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Because there was actually a couple of games that, we discovered or rediscovered this year that we played. So I think that kind of has its own little category too. So
definitely, we can actually talk about that after you're done with your list, Jon. We can talk about games we've rediscovered.
Tetris 99.
Mm-hmm.
That came out this year,
Old
right?
School Musical.
I'm not familiar with that one.
I don't know Old School Musical.
Me either.
I think so, right?
What's Old School Musical?
I have no clue what that is.
Old School Musical. It's like a chiptune-based rhythm game.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Interface.
Okay, that makes sense.
Interface kind of reminds me of I don't know, DDR, like your typical rhythm games. It's all the rhythm notes goes towards the middle of the screen. It's a typical rhythm game. It's very simple, but I very much like the music.
Click the button on the symbol.
Chiptune stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Jedi Outcast got re-released.
Ooh, that's right. I forgot about that.
This year.
Yep.
I haven't played 2 recently. I played through some of it. And it's pretty good. It's a PC port, amazingly.
Yeah, it actually works pretty well on the
not
Switch.
Amazingly, but it runs right. So
it is an old game.
Fun. There's some games I haven't even started yet. They're on sale, but I haven't touched. Let's see what else. I've played. I think that's like most Switch games. There's a lot I played last year, so I don't really count them into discount. yeah. I mean, there's several games I picked up though. Play a little bit of.
Okay. So what is a game that came out last year? And this is kind of like an open question to everybody. Or what's a game that came out some other year besides this year that you either rediscovered or started playing for the first time this year?
Do you want to start with?
Oh, anybody. Is this open floor?
Can you think about any, John? Yeah, I'll take it away then.
I'm trying to think.
Okay, you think. I know Calman. I introduced Calman to Cameo.
Yep, to Cameo.
And I think we've discussed a little fairy girl, kind of like a female Link.
Yep, it's a Rareware game.
Yep, and it was a really cool game that I don't think Calman's ever heard of, and I was able to show him for the first time. He's never played Xbox. Like the original Xbox games, there were quite a few that were really just kind of stuck out, and I still haven't been able to introduce you to Crimson Skies, but I think it's that airplane game I want to show you.
Yeah.
But he's discovered that, and Gears of War. You've never played Gears of War prior.
Yep, I never played Gears of War, and this is the first time. So, and we also played some of the Fable 3 mainly. We got pretty far in that.
And what did you think about those games, Cal? Go ahead and expand a little bit on those that you discovered. What did you think and how good they held up, or your opinions?
I thought that Fable 3 was very good. It's more of I think it's kind of like more of a simple RPG. Things are very straightforward. It doesn't bury you in, I guess, different stat buildups and stuff. It's more of you do something and you get a result out of it, which is nice. The gameplay is really fun. It's, simple. It's more of kind of a combat wise. It's kind of like hack and slash in a way. You're not
it's not too difficult.
Yeah. You're not stuck in a weird combat system. It's kind of just, you go up and smack something and that's how you progress. The story was pretty cool. The whole, I guess, trying to build up funds for, I guess, which would be the war or whatever, right? It's kind of like the Civil War or something like that.
It's not.
what is
it's
it?
Not quite a civil war. It's a war though, and the choices, your choices cost at some point.
Okay.
And,
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Because you go through and you make certain decisions.
You kind of want to have money.
Yeah. So we played through that. That was a lot of fun. Gears of War, really good, smooth. Third-person shooter that I just, it was just never able to play it because I never had an Xbox. So that was really fun. Once again, I wouldn't say the story is super deep, at least for the first one.
Not yet. I mean, that first one was pretty old.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty quick playthrough.
Yeah, it was kind of just very, in your face action, just go and shoot some stuff, which is always nice.
First time you got to see the chainsaw weapon.
Yeah, first chainsaw.
Yeah.
I will say I also appreciate how a lot of Xbox first party games are co-op online, which is really nice. I feel like I really wish that PlayStation had a little bit more of those. It's just kind of like the gameplay styles, I guess, though. So I really did like that. Some other games that we kind of rediscovered this year, Stardew Valley. That was this year that we were playing a lot of Stardew Valley. That game is, it's good. It's a really good game. It's very addicting, very easy to pick up and play. You can pick it up months later and feel like you won't miss a beat, which is really nice. I think you actually discovered the Pokemon Let's Go series along with me. That was a lot of fun. So we had a good time with that. And I think that's pretty much it, honestly, in terms of what we played this year. This year has just kind of been like a crazy, quick, accelerated time that it's really hard to remember all this stuff.
As we get older, it all just blurs.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much all of the games that we kind of rediscovered. Obviously, I played the sports games that John mentioned too. MLB probably being my favorite one this year.
And I have yet to find, which is kind of sad, but I have yet to find a mobile game worthy of any of my time.
Yeah, I haven't.
I'm not a mobile person.
No, I haven't found any good mobile games.
At least none that suit my fancy.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't really play mobile games. The only one I ever really picked up, maybe a couple of years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, was that They re-released Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah, I was like, this is cool. They have it on the phone, so.
Yeah, I like the physical controls and all that. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot better. But
plus, I don't like things.
Kind of wish.
Yeah, and I don't like things taking up storage on my phone. Like I like having it pretty open and not have things like dedicated to the memory because it just gets a pain.
Kind of wish they had that one though on Switch.
Oh, I know. Yeah, because they don't really have any Tycoon games on Switch. At least I don't think.
They do have Roller Coaster Tycoon on Switch,
but it's a crappy one though.
You don't want to know more about it, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of not good.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
So John,
next podcast, bad games.
Yeah, bad games of 2019 or whatever. John, what game have you discovered? I know you mentioned Snipper Clips earlier, which that was kind of like a Switch launch game.
No, that one I bought that one this year, last month. So.
Okay. So
but Rediscover. Actually, I gave it some thought. I actually did Rediscover. I don't know if I call it Rediscover.
Well, Rediscover or Discover.
Last year, it's Wind Waker HD.
Ooh, you played that this year?
I played some of it, not all of it. I think I got to. Man, let me remember where I ended up. I played quite a bit of it. I mean, I didn't get to maybe like a quarter of the game, but.
Okay.
I mean, that game was cool.
Yeah, I love that game. That was one of my favorite Wii U games, actually. Out of all the Wii U games, I thought that one used the gamepad the best. Because you have like the inventory and the map all on the bottom screen. You can look at it without having to pause the game. That to me was like one of the highlight games for the Wii U gamepad. So I really did like that game a lot.
Oh, well, Zelda games always hold up. Is that what we're talking about?
Well, this is Wind Waker HD. It was obviously a remastering of the Wind Waker for the GameCube that released on Wii U last gen. Well, is it considered last gen at this point? I don't even know. It's kind of merged.
Technically, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I like to go back to the Ocarina of Time and get stuck at the Boulder City because I don't know what I'm doing. I'll be honest.
I think there's a way around that. It's been a while since I played that.
I like to get lost in the forest sometimes. Just listen to the music and then crush on the little girl that's cute in the village. Yeah.
What's the last time you played that one?
What's that?
What's the last time you played Wind Waker?
Wind Waker? Oh, man, it's been a long time. Probably since the year it came out.
26.
Was it 2016?
I swear you probably played it in 2017 or 2018.
No, Wind Waker HD. No, it's been a long time since I played that, because that came out that had to come out in 2014.
Oh man.
Let's see. It came out in 2013.
2013?
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty crazy. I remember when they were like showing the trailers off for that game. That's pretty wild.
Remember yesterday when you were playing? That was 4 years ago. That wasn't yesterday. What are you talking about?
That's pretty insane.
That is crazy.
What is your most consistently played game of the year? It doesn't have to be your game of the year, but just the most played.
I'd probably say still maybe Rocket League.
Rocket League.
I feel like that's one that I consistently have gone back to. In terms of time spent, though, maybe between MLB and Madden. And I usually pick these games just because they're so easy to pick up and just play for a little while and then not play them. So it's probably between, I guess, those three games.
I went a lot into the Sims 4 for the majority of the year, which was really bad for me.
That's your go-to.
Yes, and I've stopped the addiction, and now it's Oblivion again, which is always like an Elder Scrolls game. Even Morrowind, I find myself going back to that. What about you, John?
It's got to be Battlefront 2. I mean, I've been playing that consistently, I think, every year.
Okay.
Since it came out.
I'm still really impressed with how well they turned that game around, honestly.
I'm surprised I'm not on there more, to be honest.
Well, you have it on PlayStation, you have it on Xbox, but we're on PlayStation. So it's like,
yeah, but that doesn't mean I like to do it myself. I can go into battle.
I know, but it's fun with friends, though.
When I have all these other tempting games, it's hard.
It is. It's like I always forget about Battlefront.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
So much now.
Why did I get Call of Duty when there is a perfectly good shooter that has Star Wars characters in it that has better maps and better modes? So it's kind of weird. I just kind of forget about it.
Although I still go back to the nostalgia of going to the original Star Wars Battlefronts.
Yeah,
and using like the speed bikes and just running into trees. I mean,
that was nice. Yeah, you can do that in the first Battlefront. Actually, I think you can do that in this one too. Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, not the.
No, you can do that racing game thing or whatever, where you can take.
That was weird. Yeah, that was weird.
But that was the only part I remember you can use them at. I mean, besides the pointless, I feel like you're like so zoomed out.
Yeah, they had it on the Dice's Battlefront 1 where they're laying around Endor, but on this one you have to like get points and then respond in on it.
Yeah, see, that's lame. You just run to the bike and beat whoever's trying to get to them first and then just go crazy.
Well, that was back when it was on the original where you basically just kicked off like the CPU that was on there. And then they would just stand there in their same spot for the entire match. It's like, well, that was my purpose, and you just took it away. God. But yeah, Battlefront, that's interesting. That you play that, I guess, most consistently.
Yeah, I take breaks from it, but we want to go back to all the time. So.
Yeah. Now,
because I just like Star Wars.
Oh yeah. The more and more I've played that, the more I find that I like it, and it's like I'm gonna remember this next time I want to play a shooter, but for some reason I just never do.
To me, I would rather go to Battlefront rather than Call of Duty.
Oh my god, Battlefront's so much better.
I think we've been playing Call of Duty because it's new and it's fresh out, and we've just been trying to experiment.
There is still something a little bit addicting about Call of Duty, like the whole like ping sound when you get your kill, but it's like it's not worth it.
I don't know. I kind of want to go to Battlefront.
Yeah, Battlefront.
I think Battlefront is like you can suck, but it'll still be fun. Especially with now the new co-op.
Oh yeah.
Mode, so.
Yeah, now it's like you don't have to play against really good people. You can just even though that CPU is actually pretty decent. They put up quite a big fight. Like they'll just keep coming. I think I die more in co-op mode than I do in online mode.
Really?
I think so.
The hero bots will actually emote taunt you when they kill you. It's kind of scary.
Oh my gosh. I mean, they're technically aim bots, if you want to get technical.
Well, I spawned as Anakin on, what was that, on Felucia? Or was it Geonosis? Might have been Geonosis. And when he spawned, he's like, I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. It was pretty funny.
I saw a video my little brother showed me of the Battlefront 2. It's a small clip. I don't know. I think it was computer people. I don't know. Bots. But basically, Boba Fett like killed somebody, and then he stood over them and used a flamethrower on them. I'm like, oh, that's aggressive. But it looked like bots. It didn't look. It was strange, but it was very entertaining. And he is like saying something like "die." It was the strangest thing. I was like, wow, that's very gruesome.
It's very aggressive. That's pretty funny. That's funny how they actually like taunt.
It's pretty great.
And John, weren't you saying that they brought in some like old bot names from the original Battlefront series?
Really?
They did. They also did it with their previous game as well on their instant action kind of mode.
That's pretty funny.
One of them's Nom Carver. So any of you who have played the original quite a bit will recognize Nom Carver, and one of them was Reach. It's like spelled with 3 E's and Reech. Yeah, I remember that. He didn't even have a last name. He was just called Reach.
Reach.
That's awesome.
It's like Reach killed Nom Carver killed. I remember Nom Carver a lot. Those two are always top of the leaderboard. I don't know, for whatever reason, as bots, they'd get top.
They're just really good. So now there's a question I want to ask. Now, before we get into the game of the year, our selections, what games came out this year that you didn't get to play but you want to play starting next year? So I already said mine. Mine's the Star Wars Fallen Order.
Yeah, I mean that would be mine too. I would also say
I know. I was like, that's like my most wanted. I've been dying to play that.
Yeah.
That's the one I honestly wish I would have played maybe just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I want to play, and this is, I don't know if this counts, it should, but that Monster World Iceborne, the add-on. Basically it's like
I saw that.
it's
Yeah.
DLC.
Yeah, I
And
saw
it's
that.
basically like almost like a whole new game. It's kind of like the um back in the day when they used to do expansion packs, and that's basically what it is. Like that's cool.
That is cool. Yeah, I haven't touched Monster Hunter since it came out.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It was really fun. It's just it didn't really, hook me in.
Now, if we're going to talk about which games we should have played over another, I wish I played Final Fantasy instead of The Sims 4 from 2019.
Yeah.
I really wish so. Yeah, I regret it. That's like the one game I regret ever spending so much time in, to be honest.
I regret getting Mario Maker because I just never play it.
Oh yeah, you were so hyped, and as soon as he got it, he was like,
I'm like, wow, I suck at this.
well, I'm bad at making maps.
It's like, I'm not good at normal Mario games. Yeah, it wasn't great.
That was great.
That was probably my biggest regret that I did.
Look at
cool
the
game.
face you made. You're
It's
like, well,
probably could have done without that.
the most unnecessary game for someone who doesn't really care for creating maps.
Oh my god.
That was very entertaining, seeing your face when you were like, I could tell you were done.
Switch games. It's a lot of Switch games I did get. Came out this year, I believe. I don't remember which ones. Let's see. The ones that are not ports, of course. Let's see.
So besides the Star Wars game,
That was last year, though.
I mean,
Which ones?
did you have any games you wished you would have played throughout 2019? Like ones you wish you devoted time to or spent more time playing on?
Yeah, a lot of them, honestly. I mean, I could make a whole list of them, but maybe I'll get to them next.
You're like all of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
All of them.
All of them.
Like Outer Worlds came out. Completely forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
That game was supposed to be really good.
Was that on Switch, or is it coming on Switch?
It's coming to Switch, I'm pretty sure. I think it's Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, I think, right now. So it's supposed to come to Switch eventually. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's like a lot of games that came out, and there's a lot of games coming out next year too. So it's like there's not ever going to be a break. So you just kind of have to pick and choose. But yeah, so I guess we're going to hop into our Game of the Year selections.
Okay.
So,
all right.
We're going to pick one, or what's going on?
I mean, we all can pick which one that we want.
Should we say it all at once so that we can't just base it off of each other and then break it down?
I don't know. I think Calvin maybe is there. We'll see.
I don't know. Let's.
You're like, no, let's go in order. Okay.
Go one by one.
Yeah, let's do one by one. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just say it. It's pretty freaking obvious because it's probably going to be the thumbnail of this podcast.
You literally have several podcasts that have a title and then switch and bait it to it.
Yeah, so
game.
It is completely, without question, my game of the year for 2019 is the Untitled Goose Game.
No, it's not.
No, obviously it's Death Stranding. It completely blew away any expectations I had, which is pretty remarkable because I had none. And it's really become one of my favorite games on the PlayStation in general. So very impressed with it. And I'm not even I didn't even complete Death Stranding yet. So this is really just based on what I think is going to happen and what I've played so far. So I mean, I could get to the ending and be like, wow, I want to retract that that Game of the Year award. But no, I mean, it's been very impressive, very fun, very hooked into the story. It's very goofy, very strange, very different. And just the overall uniqueness of it to me was just enough to make it, my game of the year for 2019. How about you, Kim Kim?
Well, even though this game didn't really go in the direction I wanted it to, and I'm being a little nitpicky there, and it's still, even it being different than what I was expecting, I mean, it was a completely different genre. I mean, I was literally so upset, even when I started seeing the small, leaks and here's a little trailer and a little teaser or whatnot. But it's going to be Death Stranding. It even though...
Oh, I thought you were describing the Untitled Goose Game.
Oh, no. I thought Death Stranding, honestly, was going to be a competitor to what Silent Hill is. Like, like a scary new spin-off on a horror game. But honestly, it still is very creepy, and it's still very weird, and it's just different. I mean, it was a different way to traverse a game. You're being a delivery person, which in a way, for someone like me who loves hoarding stuff and just, I don't know. I mean, like, we played Minecraft, that's basically just a block game and build whatever the heck you want in it, and fight some enemies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's fun. But this game, you get to put the little crates on your back. You get to deliver it and get like rewards from it or whatever. And then some things leak into your game online, which is really cool because it's kind of like what the story's all about anyway, like how everything's connected. It just took me in a different way. Like, it was almost like No Man's Sky, but here's an actual storyline you have to kind of stick to. So I felt a little bit more guided and not so lost. And I felt there was like this whole world I could explore and look. I haven't felt.
And you could go anywhere, even the moon.
Well, you could go many places, and it was just like an exploring game. It was really nice. It was fresh. It was different. I didn't feel like they grabbed too much design concepts from other games and pieced them together. Personally, I felt like it was still futuristic and everything kind of looked similar with our futuristic concepts, but it just felt fresh. Now, granted, it was a lot more reading than I thought would be in the game.
It is a lot of reading.
I did not know it was going to be that much reading. And so if you do not like reading for the background lore, you might be a little lost with the story. But that would be my game of the year. Definitely.
How about you, John?
Well, I mean, we all should have just said it at the same time.
Kim, you were right.
There it is, Death Stranding. I think it would have been Jedi. I watched several gameplay clips. I mean, if I had played it, maybe I would have chosen that. Maybe a little bit different. I mean, I know that game kind of plays like Dark Souls, like a casual Dark Souls, but
yeah,
didn't get to play it, so I can't really choose it. So it's gonna be Death Stranding. I mean, I kind of knew going in only because of the trailers, but there's so many things you don't know that they don't really show you, and it's completely different from other games. I mean, it's third person. You kind of explore around. So I mean, there are games like that, but this one's different in terms of what you had to actually accomplish. That's delivering packages, and they do it in a way where it actually feels fun, kind of rewarding, makes you feel a little bit good, and then just like the mood, just everything's just set up. I don't think it's a perfect game. I think it's just a different, like fresh idea that makes it interesting to play.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
And the story is to me, it's unpredictable. I mean, I like that. I don't know what's going to happen, or I can't just guess what's going to happen. You don't know, like, what's he going to do next? Is the baby going to come crawling out of the thing and nibble on your ankle? I don't know. Like,
spoilers, that actually does happen.
Oh, no, we don't know. It could.
It could.
Good idea. But yeah, it's ankle biter.
And the lore of the game kind of builds the world too, so it makes it interesting. I mean, I think cooking's just crazy in general, but
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of the things, like some of the imagery that they have, it's like ridiculous. Like even like in some of just like the smallest details, it's like, who would think of this? It's weird. It's nothing. It's not like anything I've ever played, and I just liked. I'd like how, each cutscene, it seems like the game just gets weirder and weirder, and it's just not something that you usually see. So it's like, what's going to happen? Because I really don't know.
I think it's also the very first game that has successfully put any kind of celebrity, any kind of well-known actor into a game.
And multiple.
The way they look and still made the game seem like it made sense. Your brain is trying to comprehend this real-life person is in this game, and yet it belongs. And I think he did a really good job in blending the story and blending the things, and it makes it interesting, and you're like, what? And I think it's the first game I've ever played that had such well-known people put in it, so obvious.
Yeah.
Like that's how they all look, and that's how they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big feat.
Last game that wasn't Kojima I played that had that, I'm trying to think, was probably Beyond Two Souls. Had Ellen Page, Willem Dafoe.
Oh, you know what?
That's
yeah,
right,
Beyond Two Souls.
Was that a Kojima game?
I don't know what
I'm
game
just saying,
that was, to be honest.
one that's not a Kojima game.
I'm like, that doesn't seem like something he'd make.
Yeah, that was a good game, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Metal Gear because those are just voices. So I guess the ones that are just straight up faces. So, same, Guillermo del Toro's in Death Stranding, but it's not actually him. It's another guy who does his voice.
Which is weird.
I mean, I don't know, just playing through Death Stranding, originally at first I was like, I don't know, it's going to be like my kind of game, but then it's actually more interesting. But right when we see Norman Reedus and Guillermo del Toro take a shower together, I just knew this was it.
And you know what's the game? Yeah, what's funny is that it's a heavy-weighted person, and I don't think I've really played a lot of games with heavy-weighted people being any part of the main characters.
Kinda, yeah.
And I think that's really cool too. I
really like his character.
Awesome. I do too.
Starting out the game, it's just his character is and then moving on, he actually has a backstory, and you actually feel for him more than most of everyone else in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find him very interesting. I really do. I really like the characters they chose and the roles they're playing, and I just don't think after playing it, we're not done yet, but I don't think anyone else could really play those parts.
Yeah, I think they definitely picked the right people for the roles.
Ironically.
Yeah, I mean, it's everyone just seems to really mesh really well. It's all believable. I will say Norman Reedus, he seems just like Daryl from Walking Dead.
They took that kind of...
It's I'm okay with that, though, because it fits this character so well. And yeah, so I mean, I think that I feel like there's just a lot of chemistry on screen that it just is working, at least so far. Like I said, I haven't completed the game yet. Yeah, I could end up hating this game by next week or even later tonight. Who knows? But
who celebrities? What celebrities do we have? Let's see. We got Norman Reedus, Guillermo del Toro, Margaret Qualley, Matt Mikkelsen.
Who's that guy? Who is that guy?
What guy?
He has an audience
actors.
Cosplayer.
Oh, Conan O'Brien's in it too.
Conan.
Oh,
I mean, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious.
And what's her name? Forget her name. She was in one of the Bond movies, I remember. Fragile.
Oh, I have no idea who that is.
I always forget her name.
She was in one of the Bond movies?
Really?
She was.
What? I didn't know that.
Well, it's Leia Seydoux. I think it's Dio.
I have no idea.
I had no clue. I thought that was the one rendered character, wasn't based off anyone. She has perfect skin, if that's the case.
Not anymore. Spoilers.
Oh, stop it. Perfect face. Jesus.
She's the perfect face.
Bionic Woman, what's her name?
Huh? Who?
The president.
Oh, Bridget.
Was it? She was Bionic Woman, right? Lindsay Wagner.
Bridget,
but I think they just got her like this. I don't think they have her voiced by her.
Yeah, because they might be the same actor.
I don't think they've used her as... I think they just used her likeness.
Yeah, they used her likeness, but they did not use her voice.
Yeah, same thing with Guillermo.
Yeah.
Troy Baker, I'm kind of getting sick of him in a lot of games and everything I see, so can't really say too much about him.
Yeah.
I mean, he does different
Jon.
characters, but I'm just kind of getting sick of him and showing up in everything.
Yeah, we need less bakers and more cooks.
But it's really cool. It really is. It's almost like a movie game in a way.
It does feel very much like that.
It's very interesting. It just has a different jive to it. Most games are based off books, or they're just fantasy people made up, and
yeah,
it's really cool to kind of see that mesh together, movies and games in a way, and these actors and famous people just just merge.
Yeah.
It's just cool.
And I mean, there have been, games like that before, like, Last of Us and Uncharted series, most notably, and I'm sure there's a few other ones too. But I feel like this one does it better. And I feel like the gameplay is more in line with what's going on in the cutscenes. Where I feel like Uncharted, it's like, oh, here's all this stuff, and there's a whole bunch of just random enemies that just popped up, and you have to kill them all.
Which also has Troy Baker.
Yeah. So
and Metal Gear and Last of Us.
Troy Baker is like in everything.
Yeah, he wants to be.
Ironically, he
pays them.
He plays Mario's mustache in all the Mario games.
I'm just kind of disturbed now. I mean, that's odd.
He's everywhere.
That is really uncomforting.
I know. He is everywhere. But yeah, so clearly, I guess we're all in unison here. Death Stranding is
our game of the year for 2019.
So we'll add it with Spider-Man from last year. And we need to open up a page or something on the website that's dedicated to these. I'll probably try to work on that maybe tonight. So very exciting. I did have some Gamepinions from lay Twitter, and just to see what some random people on Twitter thought of this year's list of games. There's some ones on here that I wasn't expecting to see for people's game of the years. So this one is from @JeffVS_the_World 2019 Look Back. My favorite top 5 games from 2019. This first one's really weird to me. Number 1, Ultimate Alliance 3 for Switch, which is a game I just completely forgot about. To me, it didn't really look all that great, but I've never played it, so I guess I can't really, speak too much on that. He also says Super Smash Bros. Ultimate technically came out in December 2018, but he's putting it on there anyway, which is fine. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order for PlayStation 4. Samurai Showdown for PlayStation 4. Never heard of that game. And then River City Girls Sleeper.
What?
Which I guess he's calling it a sleeper for the Switch, which I've never seen that.
I've never seen that game either, actually.
So I thought that was pretty cool. So he had some very, I guess, obscure, maybe not obscure, but he had a couple on there that
we just didn't know about.
And this is @Neon Waves, I guess _Neon Waves _ trying to throw me off. This is his favorite game of 2019. He has great taste. It is Death Stranding. Made the right choice. This next one, another game that completely forgot this was a thing. And man, these guys have the longest front names. This is @Delson Crow, and they said, I'm so grateful that Astral Chain exists, and it's one of my top favorite games of 2019. Completely forgot about that game. That was a Switch game, Switch exclusive, of course. There's another tweet here. It says my favorite / least favorite games of 2019 because I'm bored. Well, because you're bored, you are now on the Gamepinions podcast. Congratulations. Their favorite game, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, one that wanted to play, but just didn't get around to it. And then this other game is Indivisible, which I've never heard of.
Oh, who was that actually that had posted that one specifically?
This is at Breath of the Mild. So I like the play on words there.
Of the mild.
Yeah, or I guess play on word. This one's also really interesting because they included games that weren't from this year necessarily. This is @Ryan Wolf. The 4 games that made 2019 for me. I can't wait for all the new 2020 games. Heart. What were your favorite games 2019? Well, we already listed them off. And they included Fallout 76, which I thought was really weird. Because most people hate Fallout 76.
And something like that that's very similar to an MMO per se. I wouldn't really put it in the same category as a game. It's just more like a non-stop one, honestly. I mean, that's always being worked on.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I liked Fallout 76, so.
I liked it too,
Ever
actually.
since it came out.
Yeah, I haven't played it in like over a year now, but I actually like that too. They also included Star Wars Fallen Order. Looks like Pokemon X and Y. Not X and Y. I keep saying X and Y. It's Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I'm assuming that's Assassin's Creed, if I had to make a guess, but I really don't know.
I honestly don't know either.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Looking at a picture.
No idea.
Can't really see.
So then we have one more. Actually, I think we have a couple more. We haven't done this for a while, so we're compensating now. So just hold on to your butts. So this is at TGA 1000. So not 100, not 999, but 1,000. Favorite games of 2019: Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Resident Evil 2 Remake, which, once again, another game, just completely forgot. Disco Asylum, never heard of it. Control, which I heard was actually a really good game. Devil May Cry 5, completely forgot about that game. Never played any of those games in that series, actually. The Outer Worlds, another game that's very easy to forget. Judgment, Fire Emblem Three Houses. A Plague Tale: Innocence, never heard of it. And then Jedi Fallen Order. So a lot of different...
Jedi Fallen Order has been hitting the list more often than Sekiro from what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah.
But,
and
I mean,
feel
that
like,
must not be good.
And I feel like a lot of that is like... It's because it is a good game, but a lot of it I think is recency bias too. I feel like
true.
a lot of people, these end of the year games usually get a little bit more attention than the ones that came out earlier in the year. This one is at Chikorita Cheese. Fire Emblem Three Houses is my favorite game of 2019. Also, Golden Deer is the best house. I don't know what that means, but I am inclined to agree. I don't know. There's 3 houses, so I'm assuming Golden Deer is one of the houses in that game.
I have no idea. I haven't played this game.
Yeah, I haven't played since Awakening, but I really actually want to play. But I have too many other things I have to accomplish first. So this is at Ahmed Smithin. His favorite games of 2019. The number one, I'm assuming, is because it's the biggest picture. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Resident Evil Remake, Dragon Quest Builders 2, which I've never played. Judgment.
Argue against that.
You don't like Dragon Builders 2?
Oh no, I was just like, I just seen that game. I was like, I don't know. I guess you liked it. So.
It's Minecraft. What the Golf? Never heard of that. Then, of course, we have Star Wars on there. Devil May Cry 5, Fire Emblem Houses, Control. Those kind of seem to be common in a lot of people's favorite game lists.
Kind of want to play some of these now.
Yeah.
Especially What the Golf. I really, I'm interested.
It's so nice to hear some indie games for Game of the Year. Well, actually, not. That's Dragon Quest. Actually, what are any of those indie games?
I'm not sure. Is What the Golf an indie game?
What the Golf is most likely an indie game.
We need to confirm.
I'm pretty sure. And Control might be too, honestly. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Because Control, I think, is a little bit cheaper price-wise, so I'm assuming that's an indie game too. This one is at Ash J. Bow. And boom, here's my favorite games of 2019. Number 1, Death Stranding, good choice. Number 2 is Code Vein, never heard of it. Number 3 is Sekiro. Number 4, Pokemon Shield. Number 5, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Number 6, Altair Riza. I don't know if I even said that right.
That
Probably
Code
not.
Vein sounds interesting. He has good taste.
Code Vein looks
Yeah.
cool. From the little tiny picture he provided, or she.
Yeah, that looks very interesting, actually.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Oh, it's definitely a she. It's Ashley.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, sorry. This show sorry, wrong one. No, this is at this show ring or Ring. I don't know. It sounds like it's supposed to be this showing, but there's a R instead of an N, so I can't do that math. So this is not really a game of the year list. Well, I guess it is. So they said, what happened in 2019 for me? I discovered the Persona series and became interested in it because of Joker's inclusion in Smash. I then went on to play Persona 3 and Persona 4. 4 became my favorite game of all time. So I guess that's kind of their game of the year, even though it didn't come out this year. So
Your Persona was an awesome game.
Pretty cool. They go on to say, overall, I became a huge RPG and fighting game fan this year. I wonder what next year will do. So pretty cool. Very neat. And I think we have 2 more. It's almost over. This pain and suffering is almost over. This is supposed to be fun. This is at the Katora Cowboy 73. My top 8 favorite games of 2019: Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Devil May Cry 5, or is it 4? What's the V again? Is V 5?
It's 5.
Thank you. I should know because I've said that game 20 times. The Somnium Files, no idea what that is, and did not say that right. I can almost guarantee it. Luigi's Mansion 3, which is a game that is very easy to forget too. Katana Zero, never heard of that game. Astral Chain, The Outer Worlds, Tetris 99. There you go, John.
Tetris.
And then honorable mentions. Is this starring Napoleon Dynamite? It's my friend Pedro.
Okay. That game. I mean, I really wanted to pick up that game, but I heard it's it gets old quick. But it looks fun.
Yeah.
So if it ever goes on a deeper sale, I might pick it up.
I've never heard of it at all.
It's kind of I don't know if you played Not Hero. Oh man, I don't know what to compare it to. It's like a 2D side-scrolling. Let's just say how Miami, but just a general kind of description.
Okay.
Let's see what we can compare it to. It's 2D. It's side-scrolling. There's slow motion, and you have a gun, you're shooting people, they shoot at you. A lot of slow motions, kind of parkour, kind of 2D kind of thing.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
That's what it is.
That's pretty neat. I'll have to look into that. 2 more that they wrote down here were Bloodstained and Untitled Goose Game. So we did get a reference to Untitled Goose Game.
Hey, Goose Game, yeah.
I know, it's right
list.
there. That was almost our game of the year.
Game of the moment.
Game of the moment. So this is our last one. This is at Geek Out Girl. I have a feeling that this time next year I'll be saying my favorite game of 2020 is Animal Crossing New Horizons. And I can look back on this tweet and say, yep, I was right.
Oh, so that was more like a prediction for 2020.
That was kind of like a prediction, yeah. So,
which I'm looking forward to Animal Crossing so bad.
I am too.
Play, a lot.
We are going to be addicts to that, so I'm guessing we're going to have a lot to say.
Yeah, that's a day one buy. That's going to probably take up the majority of our free time, I think, when that game comes out.
Calvin's going to smack his neighbors with the net until he gets his favorite ones.
And steal my neighbors. Yeah, and steal mine, because he did that one.
Yeah, we talked about in the last podcast, I stole Kim's kangaroo.
I was really upset. I don't forgive him, and I stopped playing after that, too, actually.
Yeah, they're just like, yo, Kim, my new town is so much better than the one that I was last in. Yours sucked.
Yeah, he basically said, don't worry, I found this awesome town.
He's like, there's no laws here. I can do whatever I want. It was great.
And then 5 seconds later, it gets hit with one of those fishing bats or whatever.
Oh, God. Well, you have to dig holes around them and then just have them sit there and then just smack them with a net.
Oh, my gosh.
It's like in the new one, you find out they can actually fall down the holes.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah, and they end up in an actual town, not at a deserted island.
Guys are terrible.
Well, that's what you use pitfalls for. What if pitfalls were, they exchange pitfalls for claymores or bouncing betties? And it's just there goes your neighbor.
Do you remember this is still on topic, kind of drag it out, but do you remember the train station has a locker we can store between towns, you could pull stuff out of that locker?
I do, yeah.
I basically turned it into pitfall storage.
Yeah, that's what I did too, actually.
It's I don't know where to put these. They don't stack.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing. I used the storage unit there to store all the pitfall seeds. I don't know what to do with all these. I can't use them.
Yeah, it's stored in your trade storage. And so, like, when you go to other people's town, you just pull it out and you're like, they're putting videos anywhere.
Yeah, it's like, look what I got. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So I guess, before we leave, do you guys want to say, like, your most anticipated game for next year?
Oh, that's so easy.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing for me, too. What was the other one you said, John?
Lego Star Wars.
Lego Star Wars.
Oh, those Lego Star Wars games are awesome. I'm going to say that.
It's a new Lego Star Wars game.
Ooh.
Comes out next year.
That's pretty cool.
Of course, mine's also the next Halo, if it comes out next year.
It does. So it comes out next December.
Between those two. It's got to be both. I think this is about time for me.
Yeah, I guess mine would be Animal Crossing, Cyberpunk 2077. And I think people don't agree, but I think that the new Zelda game is going to come out next year, Breath of the Wild 2. So I'm going to go ahead and say that. And PlayStation 5. So those are my game-related stuff that I'm excited for next year.
As far as what's been announced, yeah.
Yeah, and if you're looking forward to a new Elder Scrolls campaign game, you're
be
probably
disappointed.
Going to be looking more like into 2021 or 2022, to be honest with you.
Though maybe Starfield next year. I don't know. Maybe Starfield.
It can't fill that hole in my heart.
You have to play ESO. Yeah, we'll see though.
Keep playing Skyrim.
Yeah,
I'm so tired of Skyrim.
We can play it on the refrigerator.
Oh God!
I was gonna say I heard it's coming out of the toaster next year.
Ooh. Are they gonna release one for the 2-slot toaster? Because that's the only one we have.
Or the 4-slot? Because the 4-slot I would upgrade. The 4-slot
we can't afford that. No, we can't afford that. 2-slot only.
Well, I mean, it's coming out on what's that?
What about the iWatch? Is it coming out on iWatch?
I think it is. I think it's already out. It like reads you all of your stuff, and you have to select using the dictation feature.
Was that the Alexa that they were saying that?
Oh my God!
Turn into a text-based adventure.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls.
Notepad adventure.
Text-based. Well, I think Kim's recorder is about to like run out of battery, or not run out of battery, but run out of record time. But I just wanted to thank all you guys for tuning in to Gamepinions this year, and I know you guys will probably be listening to this in 2020, but just thanks for all the support and all the downloads. We definitely accomplished a lot this year, and I'm excited to continue that into this next year. Hopefully be more consistent in terms of our uploads and what we're going to be doing on our YouTube channel as well. So I want to thank you guys for participating in the podcast to end the year. Unfortunately, TJ wasn't on today, but that's something that we're going to shoot for in 2020. Make sure you guys leave us some reviews on Apple Podcasts. If you like this podcast, let us know. And if you don't, tell us why it sucks. So either one will be greatly appreciated. But until next time, here in the new year, keep on keeping on.
All right, we good?
Yeah, we can all.
Okay.